Hey everyone, FPS Chazla here. Welcome back to Let's Play Dangerous Waters with Reinforced Alert 140. We're doing Belling the Cat. And last time I got my ass sunk by a typhoon with some frickin' standoff weapons, so we're going to be taking it easy this time.
Make turns for 2 knots.
Kind of just chilling out here. Trying not to make any noise whatsoever. That was pulled back in. That it was. I forgot that I had done that. Are we seeing him over here? I think we were close enough to see him on this. Yes, we are. Just a wee little bit there. Not sure if we have demon anymore. No, we don't. Okay, we're down here. 550 feet, trying to avoid mad detection. Bringing out the toad would be nice. So I'm gonna just try and do what I did last time. It's been a while since I recorded that, so it's not fresh on my mind, but if you guys saw the last episode recently, this may be a little repetitive, but yeah. We got our dude. And the solution that needs our work. So, we had a speed of 8 knots, I believe, plugged into the computer earlier. If that's the case, it's kind of pushing towards something like this. And I think I'm not sure if I had that established at some point. We'll go with that for now. Seems pretty good until we get potential aspect change on the target here. But we're just hanging out. We're not trying to really... Here, let's, I just want to see the history for my typhoon track here, see where I've been seeing them. We'll go with that for now. That seems pretty good. Assuming constant course and speed, which may not be a good assumption. Looks like he may be turning now, assuming he was going on a constant course and speed earlier. But this does straighten out a little further out. Kind of. It's on the brink of straightening out. It looks like it's pretty definitively like there's a course change in here, but I did just change speed. So that's going to change our aspect, or our bearing rate to the target here. Maybe a little something like that, but that seems a little far based on what we saw at the end of the episode last time, but we'll stick with that for now. So I don't want to be checking mission statuses during the middle of the mission, but I need to check it at the beginning of the mission. So let me go ahead and do that. I just want to see what my objectives are going to be here. Okay, so starting out fresh here, our objectives are to maintain weapons tight, monitor the exercise, detect the boomer, complete mission, and maintain stealth. So those are our objectives here. Okay. So I guess we're just trying to staying alive. That's what we're trying to do in the in the mission here. Okay. So let's get back into that. All right. So we're very close aboard to him. Don't want to be spooking him out. I think that 4 knots back there was a mistake in the previous mission, but we will stick with this for now. The 3 knots may be fine here. I'm gonna wait for this ping to dissipate and bring up the noise spreadsheet. Oh, these pings. Oh, these pings. I might as well pause it so that another one doesn't come up here. There you go. Okay, let's see. Open recent. We want this one. Okay. This is rather big. Let's zoom it out. So we're here at 3 knots. This blue line here is the LA 688i. Up to 4 knots is a pretty big jump in noise. You go from 62 to 64. That's a pretty big increase. And then from 2 to 3, you go from 61 to 62. So I may go back to 3 knots, but I think 4 knots is out of the question here. I think that's too much. Too much. Touch too much. Too fast. It's equivalent to going like 7 knots in a Virginia or Seawolf. So I think I will take it up to 3 knots here. If for no other reason than to keep the toad out.
Make turns for 3 knots.
Want to be able to see some stuff with the toad here, so let's let this bad boy out so that we may track our typhoon on the toad. How's the solution looking? He seems to be turning. He seems to be turning. He may have been a little closer in. No, that looked pretty good, what I had back here. If he had been chugging along. But now appears to be turning. Be coming back about this way. And this may have been when he got too close to me for words. Let's actually go back down to 2 knots. I really want to make like a hole in the water here. And we will chill. Let's come up a little shallower. Trying to avoid this tow dragging. I'll increase the risk of mad by a little bit there. That's not a big deal. Come a little shallower. So we can reacquire him on the toad. We're probably going to be getting bearing data now, but going to have to try and ignore that bearing data on the toad there. Because he's no good. Oh my god. I'm really hungry. I currently have some eggplant sweating, I guess is the term. You cut it up and you throw salt on it and you let it drain for a bit. Making some eggplant parmesan tonight. And I cannot wait for that because that is yummy. Oh, hello. Is that our typhoon on the spherical here? Believe so. That appears to be that. I notice sometimes when I render out the videos, the extra compression kind of makes some of these trends look more obvious than they do here, which I find to be interesting. Okay, yeah, this guy seems to be coming around town. Seems to be swinging around, turning around, heading back towards Zapadnaya Litsa. Zapadnaya. Zapad. Da-da-da-da-da. Currently constant bearing. Okay. Good wait for our depth here. Well, I guess I can start streaming it out now again. Just didn't want it to really drag on the bottom if it didn't need to. Hello. Can see our toad back there fluttering in the breeze. It was barely out at all. But it should be good now. So 2 knots. I was about to check the multiplayer tab, but no, we are not playing multiplayer. We are playing single player at present. This is going to take a while. Okay. Yes, coming around town. Swinging around town. Heading back in. So on this turn, he last time probably ended up getting close to me, but it was still a while into the episode. Well, maybe not too much longer at this point. Maybe 10 more game minutes before he launched on me. But I believe I was going 4 knots. Got a little ballsy. Wasn't aware there was such a huge step from 3 to 4 knots in the LA there. But yeah, we'll stay at 2 knots right now. Really try and be quiet. Try and avoid his glare. Or what have you. Are we... It won't... Okay. We can see him on Zetoid. Getting ourselves some length out there, slowly but surely. Barely maintaining steerage at this point. If there was like a nice strong tide, it'd probably carry us pretty well. So it's possible he's already completely come around. It's possible he's already done that, something like that. So we'll stick with that for now and see if that holds up. Because if he's moving 8 knots, that turn is not going to take too long to do. And just, you know, looking at it, it kind of looks like he already went through those paces. We should be seeing him here. Master 3, yeah, still doing 8 knots. Still going pretty fast. Master 2 is still going 8 knots as well. Very well. I'm assuming that their TPK is 8 on that front. That is my assumption. It would almost be nice to cut back across, but we'll stick with this for now. That turn would take forever, and I'm going to try and keep track for as long as I can. Once he gets further in there, I'll kind of come down like this as we head back that way. That's a pretty good looking course, but we'll see how this develops here as time goes on. How's this looking? There's something here. What's going on? Okay, sorry if there was a little artifact there. I think I know what it was, but it should be gone now. At least I'm not seeing it on my output display here. Very well. Okay, we got a good chunk out. That's probably good. Seems like we can see pretty clearly now. Oh, the whaley. Whales. Having a whale of a good time. Okay. Seeing two tonals, but we're also seeing our boy the Typhoon here. And those aren't going to be changing. The toad is what we're interested in. What else are we seeing off on that direction? It's where we're seeing two tonals. Could possibly be this guy. The reciprocal would be up this way because that's the way we're going. So unless there's something up that way, I don't know. Okay, but yes. Now moving towards the 180, so yes, going back that way. Very good. We're getting some kind of divulsion in the solution here. I don't know what dots come from which. Here, do this. We'll go with that for now. I'm not sure which dots those are. Which LOBs those are. It's sometimes nice to have a split track to try for those purposes, but we'll stick with this for now. Something like that. Probably a little closer this way. Oh, but that would put it more like that. Push it back a little bit. I'm expecting a little more of a south flare to it. Something like that's probably decent. Okay, time will tell, though. There's no way in hell it should be able to hear me right now. Not a chance. That's a decent bearing rate going on there. Yeah, you can kind of see him back here, but this was in for a little bit, so it's not the most reliable. Who do we got there? Is that our... Did the water just get a little louder? I don't know. Master 2. Cruising around. Did we not have Master 3 on the broadband time history on this other side of this course change here? Whenever that was, a good long while ago. Okay, how's the solution looking? Seeing some weird data. I almost want to split it. There's two bearings kind of lined up right there. Jenny. We'll go with that. The toad, who knows what the toad is doing? It should be stable. I should be getting stable data on that. I should be getting stable data on everything. But yeah, we got seeing the same trend here, moving towards 180, left to right. So this way. So that's good. So we got his general vicinity down at least. We got his course, general course-ish going on. This looks pretty good. I'm not sure. I wish these were color coded. That would be nice. Tell which data is giving you what. Maybe we'll drop this off to 10 minute. Try and clear this up. It's going to be hard to tell what's messing amok, what's not really lining up here. Looks like the toad. He could be closer in. That's always a possibility. Could always be closer in. Anything's possible. The question is it probable? This is possible. He could be that close in, potentially. Problem is here we have a constant bearing rate. That doesn't look terrible. Just because if I was expecting a course like that, you'd expect a higher bearing rate. And this seems to make sense. I wish on this kind of thing it would tell you what the bearing rate was, because the bearing rate only reports for a solution you've made. See, look, there's a high degree of bearing error in the solution. But I would like it would be nice if it could output bearing rate here, because then that would help eliminate solutions. Because if the one you're seeing in here is pretty close to the one you're seeing here, then you know you're on you got a pretty good idea of what your solution should be. Because if he was doing something like that, I would expect a pretty high bearing rate. I'm not sure we were seeing that, so this seems good. Seems pretty good. The question is, where do you want to center it? I guess approximately here. I guess you can zoom in for a little better of that, but yeah. We're getting some pretty high bearing rate on this. Or bearing error, excuse me. Which is interesting. He's going 8 knots. But I guess he is, you know, all, like, well, I would expect it to be a stronger track at 8 knots. Oh, did it just drop off the broadband? It's possible. He could be further away. But then for him to hear me at 4 knots? Well, the sea state is kind of, it's not terrible. It's not that bad, though. It's not, that shouldn't really be inhibiting sonar performance too much, unless he is up by that chop. That may inhibit it. Okay. Reciprocal is over here. Yeah, it kind of looks like it was dropping off there. Oh, hello. Master 2, Master 3. Very well. Turn would always be nice, but it's going to take a while. I would want to go the long way. I guess the maximum bearing rate would be just be doing that. I don't want to like open the gap at the same time though. I want to try and keep tabs on this dude. When was the last time I got the wire up there? Probably have to wait for this guy just to go somewhere until our mission's complete here. But seems to be going pretty well so far. That seems to be straightening out. Not really seeing the same trend here though, so this could be Funky Toad. So gotta be wary of those trends. Okay, hello. Seems to be bending a little bit more. Which suggests a little further out, possibly. Assuming he's been doing a constant course, so this seems to be a little better for me. A little better for my intuition. Even though I'm thinking maybe even further. Because a Typhoon at 8 knots, I mean, Typhoons are quiet, but 8 knots is not necessarily slow. Or quiet. Not necessarily that quiet of a speed. I would expect a decently strong signal. We are getting a decently strong one on the Toad. I would expect a little bit more on the broadband. But it seems good. Seems fine. I'm just going forth with the assumption of constant course. The bearing error is something that's a little troubling. The large bearing error between these two sensors here almost makes me want to split it and try and derive solutions for each sensor and see what I come at. Well, a good way to see if this is going to be right is do a little time lapse and see if his bearing in here and the bearing in the solution line up. That's kind of a crude way of checking your bearing rate and seeing if that's good. So right now we'd expect the target to be at 175. Reading 172. Well, these trackers are sometimes kind of buggy. This is lining up so far. Question is which sensor is right. It would be nice to turn back and get that high bearing rate. Really help with this solution. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn back this way.
Come right to course 0, 5.
Gonna get let's up to 3 knots here. So we're gonna turn back this way.
3 knots. Maneuvering eye.
And see how this helps our solution here. So we've lost him on the spherical broadband. That's fine. Still got him on the Toad. Let's go ahead and bring this back to the 20-minute. So see, this isn't looking terrible. It's just all that out there, which I think is Toad. I think that's Toad data, and we're about to get wonky Toad data again as we do our turn here, turning away from the target to get better bearing rate. We'll be seeing him for a while since he's got that 8 knots going on. We're getting close to this disputed area anyway, so it's about time we turn. So, or not disputed area, but for sure Russian territorial waters. Obviously, he thinks I'm in its territorial waters because he shot at me last time. He's like, "Oh, get out!" Oh. That is telling me that the eggplant has sweated for long enough, and startling the hell out of me at the same time. I was about to say, "Oh, this should be coming up soon." And there you go. What is that? Was that something? Am I seeing things? Is that a trend? Well, we'll have to wait till we see it on the other side. On the other side. Okay, yeah, we're going to be losing him on our hull-borne sensors for a second here. Getting the wonky Toad. Curious to see what this will look like when it clears up on the other side here. Man, I wonder if some people have been ballsy enough to get all the way down in there. Yikes. That sounds scary. Okay. A little bit of fluttering from the contact, as to be expected. TOTUS straightening out. No, not really yet. It's still kind of actually in the peak of its turn. But will be straightening soon on this other side here. Okay. We've reacquired on hull-borne sensors. The TOTUS coming back into being. Yeah, there definitely seems to be something here. What is this? Let's go ahead and pause it. What are we seeing? So we got ourselves like a 1454. Let's go ahead and do this. 1454-ish. Grisha. Sorry, Grisha. I keep doing that. Grisha. Looks like we got ourselves a Grisha moving in hot on our butts. Could potentially be a Kashin as well. I'm not sure what a Natya is. I'm going to say it's a Grisha, though. Got a Grisha moving in on our butts. Okay. Just about ready to stop here, but I want this toe to straighten out. I want to get some better data. So who is this guy? Is this Master 2 here is coming up on us? Master 2 changing course. Let's slow down here. Yeah, there's your pingers. Here you go, honkers. Something like that, maybe. Ooh, hello. Hello. Do you perhaps have some TP? That kind of makes sense. Moving left to right. Looking that way. Kind of heading for my butt with those pingers kind of coming right up at me. Let's check out Master 3. Oh, you gotta move around, don't you? What is our current range and course and speed? Course 242, range 13 kiluyards. Just want to put it back where it was before I start messing with it again.
Con sonar. I have a new contact.
Uh-oh.
046. Designated Sierra 10.
That sounded weird. Let's check the sensors. I hear that. Is that maybe a dipping sound? 8,000. What is 8,000? That may have been loud a little bit there, but hopefully it wasn't too loud. Smallest to largest, 8,000. That doesn't help me. Oh, I want a more complete documentation of what pings me in such situations. Okay. 8,000. It's not a torpedo, I don't think. Well, we can verify that. Now we gotta wait for these pings to dissipate again so I don't blow out eardrums, change into this crap. There you go. Let's see. Well, this is sorted. Go down to torps. Torp active sonar. It doesn't really list many torp active sonars. 3,000, type 89. Okay. Not sure what that is. That could be anything. Could be a sono buoy. Could be a dipping sonar. Okay. Master 3. I was working on this when I heard that ping. Okay, no, that's not really looking good. It's seeming pretty decent, something like that. Okay. So he seems to be kind of far away. We could potentially, complete this turn and start heading down that way again or something. But I think a few LOBs here would be nice. But I'm going to stop here. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. And as always, good hunting.